folks, welcome back to My Kitten Reads. I'm Eleanor and this is my August reading wrap up, which when I did the research for what I read and wrote it all down, quite undiverse. It's essentially an audiobook and all Jane Austen variations. It didn't feel that undiverse during the month. I think because I started and made progress on a number of books that are far more diverse, but just didn't finish any of them. In fact, it was very much a month of picking things up and putting them down at random. So yeah, hopefully the September update will be a lot more diverse, but we will see how we go. I'm trying. So, what did I read? I started the month by finishing The Husband Hunters Social Climbing in London and New York by Anne de Courcy. This is a book that I've read before. I was doing a lot of really intense work, so wanted something on audio. It's been a long time since I read it, so I bought the audiobook. And it's essentially one of Anne de Courcy's books about essentially the Americans who came and their mothers who came to England in the 19th and 20th century looking for titled husbands to try and social climb, because certain people in New York had a complete grip on high society there. And one of the ways that you could break into that high society was if you married your daughter to a noble in England or in Europe. And at the same time, many of the old aristocratic families were essentially hemorrhaging money. The Industrial Revolution meant that having an estate was not necessarily enough to keep you afloat anymore, particularly with the habits of much of the aristocracy, gambling, expensive living, all that kind of stuff. So all these wealthy women from America were bringing their daughters over and throwing them at the heads of the aristocracy. So I reread that via audio, and then The New World Tea Company by Martin Honeycutt. Now, I actually read pretty much all of his work previously. He has not published anything for a while, so I was really delighted when I saw something. This was okay. Essentially, people come to Meryton and to Longbourn in different guises. In particular, Wickham doesn't come as part of the militia. Wickham comes as a businessman who invests and is trying to get the locals to invest in his tea company. But, Mr. Bennet is actually quite skeptical. Lizzie is quite skeptical. So, yeah, shenanigans happen. More Than a Pretty Face by Frances Reynolds. I cannot actually remember what this one was about. Yeah, no, it's gone from my brain entirely. I assumed something about wanting to be known, the Bennet sisters I think it was something about the Bennet sisters wanting to be known as more than pretty faces, wanting to be known for their character intelligence instead. And that led to different interactions with the men that they meet. Lydia's Aunt by Elaine Burkett was a continuation of her series in which various Bennet sisters become wealthy and that changes how the family interacts. So in this one, Lydia gets sent to an aunt who is quite wealthy and is the Dowager Countess of Matlock. I believe the Dowager Countess of Matlock, and therefore I think Darcy's grandmother or an aunt or something like that. She's connected to the Matlock family and the Darcy family. And so Lydia is taught properly, becomes used to London society, meets the family, and goes her own way. A Tale of Two Suitors by Lion Newton. Now, what was this one about? Tale of Two Suitors. Not entirely sure I remember what that one was about. Nope, it's gone. See, clearly I read a lot of these and then didn't pay attention to them. It was a bit of a month like that. Work has been stressful. Just busy and stressful, and there's not been much room in my brain for anything else. So yeah, no, I've entirely forgotten what that one's about. Good Men Are Scarce by Ellen Erickson. This one was a bit more melodramatic, and essentially Darcy has been involved in intelligence work on the continent, and Lizzie comes to know him better, and gets caught up in the fact that there are people that are after Mr. Darcy, and including people who tried to kill Colonel Fitzwilliam due to their intelligence work. So that Lizzie sort of secretly marries Darcy, and then publicly and is announced, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's very, very dramatic, and of course Wickham's involved. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? A Life Diverted by Shana Grandison. So in this is a Lizzie is not a Bennet story, and so in this one, she is found by Thomas Bennet is a younger son who goes into the clergy in Derbyshire, and gets a message calling him home when his father and brother pass away, and then on their way, at one morning before they leave the inn that they're at, they discover an unconscious little girl hidden under in a compartment of their carriage. So they rescue her. She's been drugged, and this is Lizzie. They decide to keep her because they don't have time to wait around. They do try and search for, reach out to people and send letters and try and figure out who she is, but they don't know. In the meantime, there's a family whose daughter, a gentle family known to the Darcys and Fitzwilliams, who their daughter has gone missing, and no one really knows what's going on until, of course, certain people turn up in Meryton, see Lizzie. Lizzie looks exactly like her mother and her aunt. Stuff happens. And then Netherfield New Master by Rosamund Redgrave, in which Darcy, I believe, is this the one? I think this might be the one where Darcy is actually a duke, and because his sister wants to study music in London, he acquires Netherfield. I think this is the right one. Acquires Netherfield, so that they have a place to stay that is near London, and so there's a very different set of circumstances. So clearly I've forgotten most of these, so I think we can probably write off most of my reading for August. I did start a number of books. I started a couple of Alcrate books. I certainly have read more, and I'm now actually getting close to finishing my current Aliette de Bodard novel. And I am doing what's it called? September this month, which means I'm on the treadmill at the gym more, and I am also on the walking pad here, which means more reading time. Sometimes on the walking pad I'm watching something rather than reading, but yeah, I'm hopefully this month will be a much more diverse reading month, because I'm really not happy. I did not realize how undiverse my reading was, and reading that I apparently paid no attention to. So yeah, I'm really not happy with August. It is what it is. Life's been hectic. But hopefully September will be better. And I'll see you all again really soon. Bye.